And we are back, folks, for another edition of the Michigan Recruiting Insider. The big-time visitors continue to stack up here this spring for the University of Michigan, and we know one thing that Michigan does well is tight ends. Few in the country throw to the tight ends, incorporate the tight ends like the University of Michigan, so it should come as no surprise that when they went out looking for the best in the country, one of the guys that they lined up is Mr. Brock Harris. Brock, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing great, man. Glad that you could join us. And I did not mince words when I say you are indeed one of the best guys in the country. Michigan prioritized you from day one. At least it seemed that way from our perspective. And I'm curious if you felt that from day one. But before we get into talking recruiting, before we get into talking about Michigan, I want to talk about you. I like to go back to the roots of getting into the game and, you know, getting into your sort of beginnings in football and figuring out when you started to kind of realize, hey, man, I can do this. I can not only do it, but kind of do it better than all my peers and start to kind of feel like your place in the game was special. So when did it all kind of start for you?
I started playing football in second grade, playing up with my brother on the third and fourth grade team, and had a bunch of studs on that team. Sam Webb, the quarterback at Arizona State, was on that team. I grew up with him. And I played a ton of sports, but always loved football the most. And then once I got to high school, I played varsity freshman year, and I stood out and probably was the best receiver on the team. I started out receiver, and that's when I kind of knew. And then went to a ton of camps and stuff, and Michigan was one of them. And yeah, just went off from there. Ton of camps, offers started rolling in. So yeah.
So you make the sort of transition from receiver and sliding inside and in line. That takes on a different element, a more physical element to the game. Was that an easy transition for you?
I think so, because growing up I played linebacker, and so I think I've always had that physical part to it that I've always loved. So yeah, I love blocking and hitting. So
yeah, so you had that edge, that sort of nasty edge to you, which is great to hear. So when we talk about you and talk about your game, we obviously watch your film and kind of see it. But for folks who haven't watched you and seen you, kind of break down your game, give them a scouting report when they watch Brock Harris. What do they see?
You'll see a tight end that can do it all, I think. I think I hold myself to that standard. I don't want to just be a blocking tight end. I don't want to just be a receiving tight end. I love running routes. I love catching the ball, but I also love to block. So,
is there a player that you are most like or compared to, or that you try to emulate?
I always say George Kittle, because he's another tight end that can do it all. He blocks great, but he also scores touchdowns almost every game. So.
All right. So what gets you fired up more? And don't tell me they get you fired up the same. I mean, there has to be. I wonder, is it when you bury a guy, or when you catch a big touchdown? What gets you fired up more?
If it's a touchdown, probably a touchdown, but burying a guy is pretty hype too.
So it has to be a touchdown. It's not just a catch. It has to be a touchdown.
Yeah, or like a big catch. But yeah, I mean, you got to get hype after you pancake a dude.
I got you. All right. So you're going through, and you say you start to stand out. Big time attention is coming. When does the first scholarship offer come?
That was the summer after my freshman year, and it was Miami. I remember being at 7-on-7 practice, and my coach was just like, "Hey, just got off the phone with Miami. They're gonna offer you next week." I was like, "What?" It's crazy. And then after that, just all snowballed, and a ton of offers came in, and that same summer, I went to a ton of camps, and yeah, crazy. That year was crazy.
So Miami before the in-state schools?
Yeah, Miami was the
Really?
very first one,
Okay.
and then the in-state schools were right after.
Okay. So that first one comes because you seem like a pretty chill, laid-back guy. how did you react? What was your response when that first scholarship offer came through?
I got really excited. I mean, dapped up my coach, told all my friends on my team, but was told to kind of keep it low key until it happened, and then to post it and stuff. But yeah, it was awesome, and obviously a dream come true.
Gotcha. All right, so it starts to blow up, right? All these schools start to come in, and then at some point along the way, Michigan comes in. At what point is that? When does Michigan enter the picture?
I want to say sophomore year. I want to say, I'm not really sure, but I got their offer and then went to visit here for the first time and had a workout with Coach Casula, and he said he loved me and was like, he kept saying he was really surprised and said I did really good and stuff. So built that relationship with him and the staff for a while now. And yeah, they're great people.
So, you come to camp. Do you know you're killing it? Did you know you were killing it at camp?
So there was a camp going on when I came, but Coach Casula just wanted to have a workout with me.
Okay.
And yeah, I knew I was doing pretty good, and he's told me that was the best workout he's had with someone in the past few years. So that's obviously saying something. Was really happy to hear that.
Okay. All right. So Coach Casula, he's obviously he's been, this is his second go around at Michigan, but now tight ends coach. But a guy who has built a reputation. I've known him for a long time. Even in other jobs, he is known to be a guy who guys love because he can really connect with guys. A great relationship guy. I wonder, has that been your experience?
Absolutely. Coach Casula is phenomenal. He's so awesome. My family loves him. Was just we went bowling last night for a little recruiting thing, and everybody was there, and we bowled and just had a great time. He's super fun to be around and easy to talk to. Yeah, love Coach Casula.
So now, being able to relate to him, I could tell from the moment you started talking about him that part was there. You really, really have that sort of rapport. What about from a position standpoint and player development standpoint? Have you gotten a real feel for that aspect of him as a coach?
Yeah, I've gotten to see that a lot more I come here and see how he coaches at practice, and I love that as well. Practice yesterday was so awesome. It was a great practice, one of the best I've seen. And yeah, obviously his track record. Every tight end that comes in there is great. Obviously Loveland is going to the league. But yeah, he's a great coach as well.
Yeah, so that I kind of said that in the lead in that, I mean, tight ends, they have all kind of, they have, they have a quad tight end package. I mean, they use tight ends here. So for you, any tight end, I imagine this is one of the places that you really look at, but now they bring in a new offensive coordinator. So, you got to get to know him and how he does things. What have been your impressions of Chip Lindsey? Yeah,
he's been great too. He was also, we were bowling together last night as well, and he's really funny, great dude. But this was my first time meeting him. So
your impressions of his scheme, his offense, what did he say about you and your usage, and then what did you see in practice about the offense? When your impressions of that?
So yeah, he when we had an offensive meeting with all the other recruits there, he said he loves to throw the ball and all that, but he also wants to get in the run game more because he's played at a ton of different levels. He's started at high school and has gone up, throwing the ball a ton, but he wants to get back into that run game a little bit more, which is great too. And then in practice, I saw it all. So like I said earlier, I want to do everything, and blocking and running routes is what they do.
Gotcha. All right. So then Coach Moore, it all flows from the head coach, right? So the times that you've come and been able to interact with him, I'm curious what your impressions are of Coach Moore.
Coach Moore is awesome as well. I mean, I don't think anybody doesn't like him. He's a great dude. Pretty sure he used to coach tight ends too, which says something. And definitely attracts my attention. But yeah.
Yep, definitely a former tight ends coach.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of that flavor in the building, and then of course there is that factor that I wonder how much he factors for you when you see they get the #1 quarterback in the country committed in the last cycle. Were you surprised when it happened when he flips to Michigan? What did you think, and what do you think of Bryce Underwood?
Yeah, he was committed to LSU, I think, for a while, like years. And then, yeah, it was surprising, but that dude, I saw him in practice, and there was like 5 or 6 throws. I was just like, wow. And he's awesome. I mean, he already looks the part. Big, strong dude, but he can move, just dropping dimes left and right. So yeah, really impressive yesterday.
Does that, I mean, not to say that makes it, but how much does that sort of play into your thinking when you think about Michigan?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you need a quarterback that can get you the rock, but yeah, definitely is a big attraction for sure.
So when you look back, you said this is obviously not just your first visit to Michigan. Mm-hmm. When you look back on this visit specifically, what's your biggest takeaway from this latest trip?
I'd say this practice was my biggest takeaway. It was more like a scrimmage day, and really got to see some pads popping and some intense stuff. So, I mean, just the way Coach Casula led those guys, and the leaders also on the team in that tight end room was awesome. And I just watching them was great, and the versatility that certain guys have was cool. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So Brock, as you move away from Michigan and you kind of think about your recruitment big picture, and you start to think about making a decision, when you get ready to do that, what are going to be the criteria? What are going to be the big things that go into that final choice?
I always say a school that throws the ball to the tight end. Michigan does that. Mm-hmm. That's why they're in my top 6. But school that throws the ball to the tight end, a place where I'll be happy. I mean, I'll be living there for the next 3 to 4 years of my life, so got to be happy and comfortable with the guys I'll be around and stuff. But those are the main 2 things I always say, and then yeah, the coaches and just the people I'll be around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So can you, for the folks who don't know, can you list your top 6?
Yeah. So it's Michigan, Oregon, Georgia, BYU, Utah, and Miami.
Yeah. And so you got schools from all around, and you got different kinds of offenses in there. So it's a really, really sort of versatile mix of factors. Mm-hmm. One of the things that goes into consideration for guys, but to varying degrees, is NIL. How much does NIL play into your thought process?
I mean, I know I'm going to get money wherever you go, but like, I don't know. You got to, I don't know, not much at all. Mm-hmm. You just, playing ball is really what I want to do, but I know I'll get taken care of wherever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I'm not like gonna go to the school that pays me the most just because of that. I want to be happy where I'm at, not just because of money.
And then you got some schools that are like, wide open spread, and then some schools that are like, really hardcore, like pro style. So you got a really, really like versatile sort of mix of offenses too. So that's a wide variance there. I mean, what about that piece of it? The style of offense, how much does that play into your thinking?
Yeah, I mean, in the off season, obviously just watching games, watching their practices, you just got to see and got to go to the school to really see how they practice and how their offense works, and then obviously watch their games when they're playing. But yeah, there's not an offense in my top 6 that I don't see myself being able to play in. So.
Gotcha. All right. So what about timeline for making a decision, Brock? I mean, do you have a like, I want to be done by this point?
Not that I know of yet, but we'll see. I'm gonna take OVs in June. But yeah, sometime after that is what I'm thinking.
Okay. So, but do you think it'll be before your high school season, or are you not gonna?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know yet, but yeah, there's probably a good chance.
Okay.
That's what most people do.
I got you.
Yeah.
I hear that. So if we want to come and watch you this season, and we're circling some games on the schedule, what games should we come and see you?
Man, you gotta come see Dixie. Us playing Dixie. They took us out first round playoffs last year, and we beat them in the season, in regular season, and then they took us out in a really tight game first round. So
okay, that's one. We need like a couple if we're gonna.
Okay.
So to choose from, in case we can't make Dixie, what would be another one to come to?
Crimson Cliffs. They've won state back to back now. And they're just right down the road from us. So gotta get back on them too. Another school. All of our preseason games. I think we got 4. Maple Mountain, Manti. Played Manti last year preseason as well. Unfortunately lost to them. So ton of comeback stories this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to close out with comfort zone questions. These are ones that the questions are designed to take you out of your comfort zone.
Okay.
All right. So you're recruiting you now. So you know you better than anyone. And you're in the stretch run. How would you recruit you down the stretch if you're recruiting Brock Harris? I mean, some coaches, they get at the end of the day, it's like, oh man, I got to get him. I'm going to kill him with persistence. I'm going to call him as much as I can call him. I'm going to text him as much as I can text him. I'm going to kill him with as much attention as I can.
Yeah.
Is that the way to do it? Is it, it's an ounce of, just I'm going to hit him every now and then and not overdo it? Like, how would you recruit you down the stretch?
I mean, I would definitely stay persistent on hitting me up. I think that's how you build a relationship. But some guys just like send a graphic and just like that's them reaching out. But I want to have like a conversation. So I'd say reaching out, texting, calling, and actually having like good conversations. So yeah,
So be very, very persistent.
Yeah.
Persistence is a big key. And so then, as you are looking at, your circle of people, this is another thing that I like to do that helped you get to where you are now, because you don't do it alone. They are grinding with you, they're pushing you, they're holding you accountable, they're celebrating with you. And then, when things don't go well, they're picking you up, right? So this is your opportunity to shout out and thank the people who helped you or are helping you along the way. So why don't you take a minute to do that?
Yeah, my 7-on-7 coach and trainer, Coach 12, that's what we call him, but Jamar Howard, he's helped a ton. I can't thank him enough. Obviously my parents sacrificed so much to get me to camps, and just always supported me a ton. And then right now, my trainer it's in Utah with me, Dylan Robertson. He's been grinding my butt off every day. Sometimes he kills me, but really appreciate him as well.
That's cool, man. Yeah. All right, and then very last one. When you think about Michigan, big picture, what would you say you like the most about Michigan, and what is your biggest question you have about Michigan here? As you look at it here in the stretch run?
Yeah, I mean, I love the way they get the ball to the tight end. You see it every year, and that in Colston. And I'd say my biggest question is, can they do it again without Colston this year? And can they come back from that last season? And yeah, just got to tune in and watch them this year.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
Brock Harris, man, appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, now to do it for another edition of the Michigan Recruiting Insider.